folks, been a long time since we had a battle report, well, even in particular this matchup, so very excited to get a game in against the Salamanders once again. This is new Tyranids, so I am running it. The codex is out. So I'm going to be running a new Tyranid build. I'm very, very excited to try this and see how it plays out. Kind of went for an all-comers list here, so just getting a feel for everything. Again, like on paper, it looks very, very good, but I want to get a good idea of how everything's going to play. Find my play style because it is drastically changed. I'll be putting out a Tactica video. Should have done it already, but I enjoy getting at least a game or two, then doing Tactica because I have a better understanding of how everything functions. So 2,000 points, Leviathan, just a battalion, and I have in my HQ slot, I have the Hive Tyrant with the Reaper of Obliterax, Adrenal Glands. For powers, I went with, I think it was Catalyst. I'm going to misremember the powers because there's so many powers that I have here. So I'll correct it once I deploy it on my sheet in front of me. I think it's Psychic Scream and Paroxysm. Nice little buff there with Paroxysm, stopping Overwatch, which is pretty cool. Then we have a Neurothrope, who is my Warlord. Oh, I paid 1 CP as well on the Hive Tyrant to give him the Warlord trait for the 5-up Feel No Pain. And then the Neurothrope is my Warlord. I spent another CP to give him... or sorry, no, I didn't spend a CP there. Sorry, again, I'll probably botch a lot of this, but so he spent a CP for Mawclaws. That's this. So I'm at 10 CP. He has Synaptic Tendrils as his Warlord trait. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it, which lets me do my Psychic buffing twice. And for powers, he does have Catalyst and Onslaught. I do know that. Then we got a Tervigon, giving him a go. He's got the Mawclaws, as I mentioned, and that's really it. So I'm bringing him for his Imperative as well as the free Gaunts. So he essentially costs 140 points if you accept that you're going to have some Gaunts on the table. And then for powers, pretty sure I gave him Catalyst as well. I went a little redundant for a few things, but again, I'll correct what's on the table. Then we begin of Zoanthropes. I think these guys are going to be mandatory in every list because of their Synaptic Imperative, so very awesome. Malceptor with Psychic Scream, Neuroparasite, and he is here for that juicy Hive Nexus power. Then we have 10 Gargoyles, 3 units of 5 Warriors, all kitted out the same, all Boneswords, Deathspitters, 1 Venom Cannon each squad, all with Adrenal Glands. So these guys are just proxying for now. I do have the Boneswords to make everyone correct, as well as a few more Warriors to build, so they'll be up to snuff. These are 3 Tyrant Guard. My Hive Guard are proxying because they are unfortunately going to see the shelf for quite some time. They did have a good run, but I do have 3 of the updated Tyrant Guard on the way. They're just not here yet, so proxying to get a feel for it. Then we've got a Carnifex with Heavy Venom Cannon and Scything Talons. So again, I'm going to get the Heavy Venom Cannons done up for those guys, so actually have some incentive to do it, as well as getting the Rupture Cannon done for my Tyrannofex here. He's going to be using my Barbed Hero Duels cannon just to make it look big and beefy. Then we have my Hive Crone going to be proxying as a Harpy. I do have magnets under the wings, so I'm actually going to do a Heavy Venom cannons coming out in the same style as the Harridan. So very cool. Adaptive Physiology. He has Synapse. So that is the list here. Hopefully I got everything right. So getting used to the new book. So first game with it.
All right, we got 2,000 points of Salamanders. I have in my Warlord slot a Terminator Captain with a Relic Blade and a Stormbolter. My other HQs, I have a Lieutenant, and he's just going to play an old Chainsword and Plasma Pistol, and a Librarian with a Relic that gives him a 2-up save and a 5-up invul. He's got, he's not a Chief Librarian, he's just a regular old Librarian. And then we got our Inquisitor, who is a Alpha class Psyker, so he's got a couple denies and 1 cast with Dominate. So hopefully we'll see how that goes with some of these monsters. I got 2 squads of Intercessors, proxying 5 of them, but they are Intercessors with Stalker Bolt Rifles. 10-man squad Attack Marines with a Flamer and a Rocket Launcher. 5-man squad of Terminators, all with Chain Fists. 1 Assault Cannon, and the Sergeant with the Power Sword. I'll do the other elites. I got 2 Dreadnoughts, both with Las Cannon and Heavy Flamer. And then Fast Attack, I got 3 Outriders, 3 Suppressors, and for my heavy slot I got a Predator Auto, Cannon, Predator Las Cannon, Predator Annihilator, and then 3 Eradicators with Heavy Meltas. And that's 2,000 points exactly of Salamanders.
Everyone, so here's the table we're playing on is conversion from the Nachman mission pack. So conversion sees a deployment zone of it's like a bubble in the middle here, so it comes up 9 inches. So deployment in this quarter to that quarter. 5 objectives on the table. Mission objective is hold 1, hold 2, with the other objective being called corrupted ground. So if you don't hold your home objective, you actually lose a point. Holding a no man's land objectives, you get 2, and then you get 4 if you can grab your opponent's one across the way there. You also don't generate a CP if your warlord happens to fall. So pretty key thing there to keep in mind. Or it's not on the table, that's right. So if a warlord zips away, like my Neurothrope encircles off the table for some reason, I won't get a CP. Or Terminator, your Terminator cat, oh shoot. So yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind as well. For mission secondaries, I went with Engage. I went with R&D, Retrieve Nachman Data, because I've got my Gargoyles here. I want to make use of Encircle, and I missed my Lictor doing things like that, so we're going to give it a go. And then I also went with Cranial Feasting. So very excited to give that one a try and just get a feel for it and see how it plays out. Lots of sergeants to hopefully hunt down. The Salamanders went with Bring It Down, Psychic Interrogation, and they also went with Retrieve Nachman Data. So that's it. So I want to give a shout out to 3D6 Wargaming for these amazing objective markers. You can click the affiliate link in the video description, grab yourself some custom ones, make your own, or look into grabbing ours too if you like the look of them. As well as a shout out to our patrons. It's been a while since we had a report, so a big shout out to Brian and Teos. Your support means so much as we continue to grow the channel and get back into the swing of things. Doing another battle report. It's been a long month. Kids have been sick multiple weeks in a row. All is well now, but a busy time when you have a bunch of kids. So we're back to it, and there's also going to be Patronic dice here with Brian, so we'll roll them at some point during the game. But that's enough talking. We're going to find out who's getting what deployment zone. I'll grab a die here. We're going to roll off, find out who gets to pick their spot. That's a big old 3. That's a big old 6. So Salamanders get their pick of the crop for the table here. So pretty even. Quickly highlighting the terrain if you're new to Basement Wargaming here. So just standard runes for all the things in the middle. Obscuring section there. We play these buildings as scalable. It's 5 inches to move up. And then if you're in the top, then you benefit from light cover and you can't move through it, whatever that's called. Breachable, that's it. So that is it for the terrain. And then this is -1 to shoot through, but I don't know how much that'll come into play. But that's pretty much it. So just looking at our table, give you an idea of how everything works. This is just true line of sight and obscuring. So that's it. We'll come back after deployment. Folks, we have deployed. So looking at my Tyranid side here, we've got my Zonethropes, Tervigon, Malceptor, Gargoyles, Warrior Unit number 1, Hive, or Harpy, Warrior Unit 2, Tyrant Guard, Tyrant, Rupture Effects, Carnifex, and Warrior Unit there. I am all on the table. Opposing me over here, we got Suppressors up on the terrain here, Outriders, Tac Squad, Combat Squadded, Dreadnought, Inquisitor, Librarian in there as well. Other part of the Tac Squad holding the objective with the Predator. Captain is on the table with the Intercessors, and then Predator right back on the objective. Lieutenant, another Dread there, the Eradicators, and then the Stalker Bolter guys up in the middle, ready to take some shots to the middle. Oh, they're both, okay. So I thought it was one. So yeah, Stalkers everywhere. So that's it, and Terminators in Teleporter. So we're going to find out who's getting first turn here in the first matchup with the new Tyranids. A 6 again, a 6. So one of those games. 5. So Tyranids strike first in this round. So as well as I'm going to mention, I went with the default, I don't know if I mentioned before, the default adaptions for Leviathan, just to get a feel for everything. I know you can swap them out after we have just made this roll. I can look at the chart. But I'm happy with what we have, just to want to get some experience under my belt before moving into fine-tuning things like that. So that is it. We're going to move into Tyranids, turn 1, and come back after the movement. so movement is done. So Warriors moving, advancing over here. So I already made one error, but I'm going to point it out just because, again, learning the new book here, trying to get my head around all the stuff that we have to do. So for the imperatives, I was like, I'm going to throw the Zoanthrope ones out. With this style deployment, it's easier to get across with as you can see with the Tyrant there. So I wasn't too worried about getting extra movement from the Tervigon yet. But so I did the Zoanthropes, and now I'm going to do Hive Nexus soon to get the extra imperative off with the Maleceptor. But what I should have done is done the Maleceptor one first, because these boys who advanced here nicely into this zone could have then done R&D. So just order of operations. So one thing to point out, maybe you yourself won't get caught with that, but it's all good. So I R&D'd this section with these warriors. My Gargoyles left. I just pulled them off just because, just space wise. So they're going to leave at the end of the turn within circle. So we'll cover that later. But if you're wondering where they went, we just moved them off. Zoanthropes advanced over this way. Tervigon, Maleceptor, warriors advanced onto this objective. Tyrant Guard advanced as well. Tyrannofex and Carnifex moved over this way. He's been buffed from the Hive Tyrant, and the Hive Crown is still in the air moving over here. So, vote to see if we can do some Psychic Slammage with the Maleceptor. Alright, folks, so Psychic and shooting is done. Oh my goodness. So, the Maleceptor living up to the hype. I knew it was probably going to be really good. Did 19 mortal wounds to the intercessors over there with the Tervigon, finishing off the last guy with 1 wound with Smite. So, insane. Got the imperative off on him. Combined with the Neurothrope, it's disgusting what that thing can output. So very, very good on the Tyranid end, not so good on the opposite end. The Zoanthropes, Neurothropes, getting the Hive Imperative off, I should say. And then Neuroparasite and Psychic Stream, and spent 1 CP to do an extra power for the Smite just to get all the damage off. So crazy stuff there. Over this way, Transhuman coming in clutch, negating a bit of the damage here. There's 1 guy left with 1 wound, but that is with the combined might of the Harpy, a few of these guys, and the Tyrannofex. So Bikers hanging on. Suppressors lost 2 guys from the Tyrannofex, split fire to spot some, shot some Stinger salvos there, and Warriors in the middle firing in at these guys, having advanced. So a little bit of penalty to their movement, or shooting, and killed off 2 of them. So that's it. So we got a charge coming through here. My Hive Tyrant going to go in at the Dreadnought. He did take a wound from Smite, and then he's also Paroxysm. So we're going to go in, fight at him, and see what happens after that. So we'll come back after... so that ends the turn. My Hive Tyrant did a nice little leap across right there to engage the Inquisitor and the Librarian. Did 3 mortal wounds on the charge with I can't remember the stratagem, the new stratagem with the Horned Chitin. And then I targeted my 2 pokey feet at the Inquisitor, did another wound to him, he's down to 1. And then all the other attacks finished off the Librarian. So it didn't generate a CP there, so only getting 1 CP, or 1 victory point for that. So kind of situational with the Cranial Feasting. So I see how I could have got a ton of victory points there had I have rolled a 4-up on that. So kind of situational, but still cool nonetheless. But that's it for the turn. So he's locked in there. Can't use my ability to leap away, overrun, and he can't encircle and leave because my Gargoyles have done that for me already. So that's it for the turn. So scoring 3 for engage. Yep, those guys are in that quarter. And that's it. So we're going to move into Salamanders turn 1 and see how they can retaliate here. All right, so that ends the turn. Biker is coming over this way to do Nachmund. We got to roll for it, unfortunately, where he's just a lone dude, but making use of his body there. Everyone else staying still over on this side, ready to do some shooting. Captain coming over, getting ready to go in and assist against that Hive target. See if we can get him at least bracketed or damaged about. Predator sitting still, along with the Eradicators and Lieutenant on this side, getting ready to fire at the Maleceptor. So he's decided that guy has got to go. Dreadnought advanced up. He has his Flamer with Mortals. So ready to get rid of those Zoanthropes and start shutting down some imperatives from Hive Nexus. So they can't do theirs again naturally, so I have to get Hive Nexus off to use that, to use their imperative a second time. So very useful power there. So we'll come back after Psychic phase. And all right, folks, so shooting phase is done. Unfortunately, my dice have come out a little too hot. The Maleceptor, he actually got tons of wounds coming through from the Eradicators and the Predator, but I made every single 4-up save. And then the same for the Hive Tyrant. Had some las cannon hits come against him in combat there and made all my 4-ups. So I made every single invol I had to make for the turn. And the Dominate, that was the other big one. So he got Dominate off from the Inquisitor on him. And and then I denied that as well. So had he have gotten that, that would I think he might have took him out. I mean, the way I'm rolling 4-up, so it's hard to say. So very, very solid turn for defensively for the Tyranids. But we got some charges and stuff to go down now and see if we can take out some key units for the Salamanders and take some ground back. So we'll come back after that. So that ends the turn. So the captain came in, some really poor rolling. Didn't get a single wound through, I think, on the wound roll. And then the Tyrant attacked him and took him out with the Reaper. And then the pointy toes took out the Inquisitor. So generated a CP back and also killing the Warlord and another character. So that was 8 victory points there altogether for that. So 9 scored on turn 1 for that. Then these guys in here, they killed off 2 warriors. But then these 3 warriors took out, I think, was there 8 guys there?
Yep.
8 guys, so tons of damage coming in. The warriors are really effective right now, and that was even with transhuman. It was ridiculous what I did. I think I rolled 8 4-ups, and that was like all in one roll, so it was nuts. So just you might be looking and say, okay, the Tyranid books is very good, and I will say things are looking very solid, but this is unfortunately a game where the dice are not being very kind to the Salamanders in this round. So that is the end of turn 1. We're going to move into turn 2, see how it looks. So that is movement done. The Harpy, we'll start it with him. Launched over this way. I dropped a bomb on him, just wanted to see what happened, and nothing happened. So the Gargoyles dropped back in from Encircle, and they are indeed this section. So both the opposite sections here are done for R&D. These warriors nabbed this objective for me. These guys grabbed that one as well, and then the Zonethrope along with the Tervigon went this way. For imperatives, I activated the Tervigon, so getting an extra 2-inch movement just to speed up a little bit. And then the Zonethropes move forward to get ready to smite him, and Malcept move right to the middle to start slamming the Eradicators with some powers and damage there. And then also getting buffed from the Neurothrope. So that's it for movement. We'll come back. Psychic and shooting done. So we are starting to see a little bit of the power here with the new book. So the Predator was taken out by the Rupture Cannon and Tyranno effects. So the AP -4 is huge against anything that doesn't have an invul. Did 23 unsaved wounds, I think it was, all said and done. And that was just with a pretty average rolling for the damage, so a little bit more potential there. But the Malcept just continuing to be insane. So killed off the Eradicators, did I think 4 or 5 mortals to the Dreadnought, who was then taken out by the Harpy firing across. And then just between the card effects and the warriors, they're finishing off the TAC Marines there as well. So that's it. We're going to just move into the melee here, and then we'll come back after. All right, so the Dreadnought has been finished off by the Tyrant, and that is going to end the turn for the Tyranids. So engage for each quarter, and nothing for cranial feasting. That's what I'm kind of seeing here. When once you kill something and get that CP, it kind of spikes up, but then after that, you kind of have to like get in combat with like the sergeants and stuff. So those guys there. So it didn't quite have anything that could have made it to any form of a character. And then as well as the lieutenant on that side shooting with the Harpy would have meant no melee potential there. So kind of a situational one, but nonetheless very cool to have. So we'll come into Salamander's turn. The Terminators are going to come in. We'll see what damage they can do. All right, folks, so that is the end of the turn. We just called the game there. We were chatting for quite a long time. The Salamanders have packed up and headed home, but all that happened for them was just simply the Terminators came in. We wanted to see if they'd make the charge. They killed one guy in shooting, failed the charge there, and then that was it. No other damage. Actually, funnily enough, the one unit that did the most damage the whole game, there was 5 TAC Marines, and they did 5 wounds to the Hive Tyrant there, just with some strats and stuff. But on the whole, we had a good talk just about everything, kind of where the book stands. Very rough turn 1 for the Salamanders. Obviously, me making all of my involves on everything. So, like, even if I didn't make half those involves, the Malcept would have died. It was just a lot of damage coming into him. But we were talking, the army-wide transhuman is huge. Being able to shut off the rerolls it's something. Like, especially against Salamanders here, where it eliminates essentially their one unique thing, rerolling those nice weapons they have. So that it is a big deal, especially in this matchup too. Obviously, the big standout was the Malcept doing all that damage, and it's just if you don't deal with him, it's a ton of anything that's close to him. He's just gonna clear it out. And then the Hive Tyrant also was a big standout. Doing all those extra mortals was fantastic. And then also, he never left, but having the ability to either overrun, he definitely could have been safe. I obviously didn't really need to do it in this particular scenario, in this game. But instead of taking those wounds from whatever was shooting there, the Tyranids, but if anything else was shooting, he could have leapt with overrun right to the safety of his boys right there, the Tyrant Guard, or encircled away, but I probably would have done that for safekeeping along on that edge. So yeah, very impressed by the damage potential and also the flexible playstyle here too. Definitely losing a bit of the alpha strike. Then obviously this deployment with the Tyrant's speed definitely favored that a little bit, which won't always be the case. But it's definitely a style where you can play a little bit reserve turn one. If things come close to you, then the Mawscepter gets to come out and get you, or you get to set up turn one. And the shooting potential now with Tyranids is enough that doing some shooting in, you are going to do some damage, especially with the Harpy. And I'm really impressed with the Tyrant effects. I'm going to give him another go. So I got a game with the Iron Hands tomorrow night. I'm not sure when this battle report will be coming, but I am filming another one, just so you know. Probably going to run the same list, I think. The only thing I think I'm going to switch, I mean, it's hard to say. I'm not overly blown away with the current effects. Definitely want to give them another go and another honest run, but I think I might pull out the Tervigon here and toss in a Walkrent and do a double patrol and slap on old Shard Gullet, the relic. Heavy Venom Cannon, just to see how it goes. Very curious about that, the combination of the Walkrent and the Flyrant, using the Tyrant Guard to protect him for the first turn. But in talking about the Tervigon as well, too, I am the extra movement. Obviously, I did get a strong alpha with the Mawscepter coming forward with a nice advance roll as well, getting him into position. But the potential with that extra movement, it is really huge. And honestly, with the Tervigon having that 10-man unit in its back pocket to slap out, I definitely think it's one that kind of sticks close to the Mawscepter, getting that -1 strength aura coming in, so reduce the effectiveness of shooting. And just having so many wounds to chew through and being tough 8, it makes the Tervigon a tough thing to get through. And if the Tervigon's taking heat, that means other things are in the clear, which is always nice. So another stand I want to talk about, obviously everyone knows here, any Tyranid players, the Warriors, unreal. So the damage potential, 3 of them took out, again, very good rolling on my part, but took out 8 intercessors. And even if I rolled a little bit differently there, it still would have took out on average 4 of them. So very, very wicked potential from those guys. So loving the fact that Boneswords and Adrenal Gland Warriors are such a threat. So major changes with that in mind as well is I think I'm going to pull the Tervigon for this next one just to see what happens. I really want to run the double Tyrant and get a feel for that. And I also want to give that Relic a nice run. But the Warriors as well. I think I'm going to cut 1 unit of 5, combine it to make a full unit of 9, and I'll have to juggle around some points. But I also think that'll give me enough points to bring in another unit of Gargs. I think 1 is comfortable enough, but I would like to give it a try with them. Or potentially, again, I'll have to double check my points and what I have available. Maybe bring in a unit of Venom Thropes and see how they play into things. So that could be the move here. But on a whole, same core. Definitely the Psychic combination, the Neurothrope, Mawscepter, and Zone Thrope is going to be a solid part of a lot of lists, especially Leviathan ones. Hive Nexus is just so crucial, especially in the early stages of the game. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Again, as I explore the new Tyranid book and everything, it was a tough matchup in this one. Again, it was a rough turn 1 for the Salamanders, but want to give some nice entertaining games, so it's a good feel for everything and gives everyone a nice look at some of the potential of the Tyranids here. So definitely we'll try a whole bunch of different lists, just like you saw me going into 9th way back if you've been watching since my return to the game and doing the content. I love trying out different combinations and all kinds of different units. I have quite a decent collection built up. I think with my new additions, I think I'm just about at 10k for Tyranids, so getting up there for sure, and loads of different units and options to give a try. So I really want to run 3 Screamers. I don't think that's going to be the most optimal way to go for Carnifexes. Maybe do a 2-to-1 build for Screamer to regular supporting Carnifex maybe. I don't know. Again, I'm going to give it a go, see what happens, and some new units coming in as well. As Death Leapers. I'm getting off topic here. I'm going right into the Tactica. So we'll do a separate video on that. I'm going to play one more game here tomorrow for me, hopefully within a couple days for you after you watch this battle report. And then I'm going to put together a Tactica, hopefully within a week or so. Again, I like getting some first-hand experience. I talk to a ton of people, obviously, on the Codex. But that first-hand experience, is, in my opinion, is just something you can't beat. And I like talking with a bit of evidence as well. So thank you so much for everyone for watching. Again, apologies on the bit of a break on reports. Having sick kids for quite a long time. Well, we had a week of sick kids, and then we were better, caught up on work and everything that we missed, and they got sick again, so then spent this week getting caught up. So yeah, just busy March, but we're back. We're excited about the Codex. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you our patrons, Brian and Teos. Your support means so much to us. Didn't get a chance to use Patronic Dice in this one, but they'll be used in the next match tomorrow against the Iron Hands.